Now, the first time.
This is a
no one ever was.
This is a brand new computer I'm using for the very first time, and I'm also using Audio Hijack Pro on this computer for the same time. For the first time, and I am getting that for some reason on Audio Hijack when I speak, I hear that delay. If I hit mute on Audio Hijack, that will actually mute my recording of my voice, right? Yeah. So
what you do is where you hit, you see like input device, output device.
Mm-hmm.
If you silence the output, you may have to stop recording, change it, and then start recording again. But that'll do it.
If I turn the gain down, that actually seems to help as well.
Oh, the gain that'll make your recording quiet.
I want that.
Yes.
All right, so go recording, and then what do I need to do to get that to not do? Did you say, TJ?
So if you're not recording, you click on whatever the input is that you're going to record.
Right.
There's a tab up top called Input.
Yep.
It should say Input Device and then whatever your microphone is.
Yep.
And the Output Device, you can select Silence Output.
Ah, nice. I like that.
So that'll mute in your headphones.
See, this is why I should ask these questions before we start as opposed to afterwards and go, gee, I wonder why I can't hear myself on the entire recording.
See, that's why I record a backup, and then we also have the YouTube audio just in case, so that's like a second backup.
Right.
We got double fail safes here.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it's happened way too often.
Record again right now.
In the history of the first 400 episodes of Player One.
I feel like I need an organizer for my organizer.
Exactly.
Lift off Lloyd.
Huh?
I just got lift off Lloyd.
Lift off Lloyd.
You guys ready yet? I mean,
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Smash
Shut off your Smash Brothers. We're gonna have to settle this online. We're gonna settle it with Smash.
No, I'd lose.
I don't know about that. Have you seen my Smash skills?
No, I don't have to.
Pretty bad. Pretty bad indeed. All right. Hello and welcome to episode 413 of the Player One podcast from Monday, October 6, 2014. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me tonight, I've got three co-hosts. Mr. Phil Theobald from California.
Well, I'm actually from Illinois.
Well, let's not get technical.
Just living in California at the moment.
Yeah.
Joining us from California.
There you go.
From California. Mr. Phil Theobald. Joining us from Halifax, Nova Scotia. That's in Canada.
That's
Mr.
where I'm from.
Greg Seward. Yeah. And joining us from the great state of New Jersey, Mr. Rich Grisham.
Hello, hello, hello. Good to be here.
Thank you for joining us. You're the host of the Dodcast, host of the Press Row podcast, so people may have heard you there. And on select episodes of the Player One podcast, you've been a guest as well.
And a host.
True.
That's right.
Very true.
This is the best show on the internet. It is always fun to be able to join my favorite guys on this show. So thanks for having me.
Since you can't join them tonight, you're going to hang out with us. Understandable. All our guests say the same thing.
So, how you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah, you like video game tutorials? You like pressing A to kiss or kill? What do you like? What do you think about that?
The guy who wrote that has never been married.
What is this? I'm missing out on this.
Oh, you didn't see this beautiful. Okay, go ahead, CJ.
So, for those who didn't see it, Polygon ran a guest opinion piece.
That would involve reading Polygon. That's why I've not seen it.
Yeah, I know.
That's true. Talking about the tutorial in Shadow of Mordor.
Okay.
Where the scene in the tutorial is that it's teaching you how to do some stealth, like a stealth kill, and instead the setting calls for you to basically sneak up behind your wife and give her a kiss.
Of death.
Oh, okay.
And so that's how they teach you in the tutorial how to do that. Of course, throughout the game, you'll be sneaking up behind people, pressing A to kill them instead. And yeah, it was basically criticizing that choice.
Yeah, there was an entire 1,000 words written on how wrong it was to use the same command and set of animations. Well, not the murder set of animations, but the same sneaking animation to sneak up on your wife with a bouquet of flowers to give her a kiss.
Yeah.
And how it was so wrong of them to confuse the two. This person was very offended by it.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I find it funny that in a game where you are slicing up every type of creature known to man, that the person is upset about the act of actually giving a loving kiss to your wife.
Yeah.
It seems a little not quite lined up to me.
It was brutal. I couldn't read the whole thing.
Yeah. Also, I mean, kudos to the developers, like making a tutorial that pokes some bit of fun at video game conventions and has fun with the whole thing. Like,
there's more to it than that, though, because the way that game starts, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if any of you have played it. The way that game starts is a series of flashbacks where you basically you wake up and you're trying to figure out what's happened to your character. So he keeps having flashbacks. He was a ranger. And so you have flashbacks in battles and things like that, but then you're also flashing back to your family life because there's a very traumatic thing that happens right at the beginning of the game where you kind of need to care about the characters like your wife and your child, more than just, oh, hey, look, this is your wife and your kid. Like you needed to interact with them a little bit to show that there's sort of empathy for those characters from your characters, so to speak. I thought it was really well handled, personally, and it was a cute moment. It's like,
yeah.
There's your wife. You've got flowers in your hand. Sneak up behind her. Surprise her with a kiss.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's such a stupid editorial.
Haven't there been things in like the Assassin's Creed games that have been similar to that?
Well, especially where context-specific button presses are like the thing now.
Right. Exactly.
There's almost like a lot of these games don't have buttons that have a single command that it's attached to them. It's all in context. So
yeah. What about a QuickTime event? Where you give your wife some flowers. Like, is that wrong if you've been
That's
using
the same button I used to murder someone earlier. That's my murdering
These
button.
are the same hands!
I've forgotten how to love.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, boy.
I don't know.
It was the guest editorial. And
guest editorial.
Since unfortunately Polygon doesn't have any kind of editorial staff to vet that sort of thing, they really couldn't help that it went up and was featured on their front page.
Well, apparently, I don't know if you read this. Apparently, they asked him to write it. Like, it was a comment that this guy made on Twitter, and then somebody from Polygon
take this 140 characters and spin it into 1,000 words of ridiculousness.
asked him to write about it. Which, yeah, too many. It's okay for a 140 character tweet. But do you need to write a whole editorial on it?
I don't know. It seems to me to be very similar to a lot of discussions that seem to be held these days that really miss the forest for the trees. Back when there was the old Assassin's Creed uproar about the fact that there weren't female assassins.
Yeah,
isn't that still an uproar?
Probably.
It comes up every now and then.
But I'm trying to understand where somehow having a female protagonist that gets to gouge out the eyes of people is somehow a positive thing. I didn't quite find that in the whole rest of the argument, but that's just me.
Well, that's just it. I mean, it's cherry picking. It's cherry picking and looking for things to become enraged over, and not not that the sexism inherent in games is something that shouldn't be discussed. It should be, definitely.
Absolutely.
But, you need to have a little bit of common sense to go along with it. I think just like this, like I don't know which one of you guys said it earlier, but I mean the game is about like lopping off the heads of yes, they're orcs and things like that. They're not humans, but at the same time, it's extremely gory and extremely graphic. And it's like, this is your problem. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, if you want to make social, have social commentary about a game like this, let's talk about the crazy amount of violence and gore in it.
Yes, let's talk about putting people's heads on stakes and bursting into a party with men, women, and children, and then, like you said, lopping off and stabbing people. That's all fine.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that women get to do that, or I want to make sure the kiss button is different than the murder button.
Yeah,
let's really talk.
Can't be my murder button.
It's ridiculous.
Well, are there actually children in that scene? Like,
no.
I find in open world games, none of the people who are in the environment are kids.
Yeah.
If you can run them over or kill them or do anything in any such way, that's like a big problem.
Well, that would be
the publisher.
Yeah. That would be crossing yet another line that I don't think any publisher wants to cross.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, so that was a thing this week.
Yep.
Wow. You know what else is a thing this week that I wanted to talk about? In the spirit of video game sites doing editorials on things that have no relation to video games, let's talk about Saturday morning cartoons going away, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, now, I've been seeing a lot of this.
Yes. Go ahead and say it. I'm going to say it too if you don't.
What network was still running Saturday morning cartoons?
The CW, right? Is that the one, or the WB?
Does that count?
There was some independent station.
Yeah, and what were they, like ABC or NBC or?
Yeah, they were long gone. Yes. That game.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I can't imagine they were making new cartoons, right?
Well, my bigger question is that, I know up here we have them. Don't you guys have stations that run nothing but cartoons?
Yes.
That's kind of...
Yes.
Nickelodeon and
doing cartoons?
Cartoon Network is kind of what killed Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah. Thank you, CJ. Way to go, man.
Way to go, CJ.
15 years ago or something.
Also the internet, right? I mean, you don't have to watch cartoons on networks that are devoted to it. You can watch it, on the internet.
Now, my wife pointed out the other day,
or Netflix,
when Finn toddled into our room and climbed up on my lap as I was sitting at my computer desk and said, "I want to watch Cookie Monster," and I just load up YouTube with like every skit Cookie Monster was ever in, and we just start watching it, and she just was like, "He will never know what TV is."
It's funny, you know what? I was having that exact same conversation with my dad today because I was tweeting out pictures of organizing our basement, and my son was down there with us, and he had my iPad, and he was playing Castle Doombad, of course. And he's crazy about that game. And my dad was sort of marveling. It's like, wow, he can just sit here and play video games. Like this world is so different than when he was a kid, obviously, but also when I was a kid. And I said, yeah, well, think about all these other things he's never going to experience. And one of the things I brought up was Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah,
it's not the same thing. But I mean, it's definitely. I feel it like it's something to lament because waking up on Saturday morning and sitting in front of the TV for a few hours with your cereal and watching these very specific shows was awesome. It was a great part of being a kid. But I mean, it hasn't been part of being a kid for 10 or 15 years.
At least. At least.
Like, why is it a thing now?
The other reason is, why these things went away is, well, they didn't get any ratings. Like,
my kids have never had, like you said, my kids have never had to wait to watch a cartoon. If they're allowed to be watching television at the time, they can watch what they want when they want at all times. It's not like when we were kids.
That's the real shift, right? It basically all entertainment now, especially for children, they just grow up saying, when I want something, I'm going to be able to watch it now. There's no concept of ever having to be at a certain place at a certain time. It's just, I want to watch Curious George. All right, 2 button clicks, and Curious George is on the TV, and Daddy's happy because I've got 15 minutes of my life back.
The babysitter's back.
The constant, the always on demand is great.
Parenting pro tip from Rich Grisham.
Yeah.
I think the real downside of this is that my son does not get to live my childhood.
Exactly.
I think it's a
Right.
shame.
He's already too
have,
tall for that, isn't he?
What,
You know,
oh,
Sorry, Phil.
I'll be quiet.
Oh my!
you know what you should do, Phil,
What?
if you wanna recreate it completely, is like next Thursday
Uh-huh.
or Friday, find on YouTube the Perfect Strangers Saturday morning cartoon preview.
Man,
that they
I'll tell you
did.
what, that was like a second Christmas. Those
Oh,
Saturday morning cartoon preview primetime
yes.
specials.
Oh man.
yes.
Yeah, that was. Because like every
course.
network would do it, like every year.
It's funny, you know, like children who, probably many of our listeners who grew up in the 90s, like
Only
have
90s kids would understand.
That's right.
They don't know what we're talking about.
It is such a different world though, because like that's exactly it. I remember as a kid in the 80s. I mean, not only did you sit down on Saturday morning and get to watch cartoons the only time through the week that you could, except for like supremely early on weekday mornings, and they were usually crappy shows, or like some afternoons you'd have cartoons, but
as opposed to all those fantastic Saturday morning cartoons, nothing beat Monchi Cheese and Get Along Gang.
But
and
the thing was that I don't know about you, but I had the schedule memorized.
Come on.
Like you had the schedule memorized. It's like, well, I'm watching ABC at 9.
Yeah.
And I'm watching NBC at 10, and then Transformers comes on over here, and
yeah. You know what gives me that same feeling? And this is sad. GDC, where it's like, which panels am I going to go to at which time? All right, at 9:30 I have to go.
That is such a nerdy.
I have to go to the North Hall.
That would explain why that one time I saw you at GDC, you kept humming the Saturday Supercade theme over and over in your head.
It was the theme song to Punky Brewster. Get it right.
Oh, Punky.
Hey, Gloomer.
The anxiety.
That's pretty good, Punky.
So, was that the same voice actor that did Stitch?
No, actually, I believe it was Frank Welker.
Oh,
Frank Welker.
Welker do Stitch?
No.
Oh,
No.
It sounded like him.
I believe it was Frank Welker doing Gloomer. I'm going to double check that. But
somebody doing a Frank Welker impression who did Stitch.
Frank Welker definitely has a voice that sounds kind of like this that loses.
Or it's Howie Mandel doing the voice from Bobby's World.
No, yeah.
You remember Bobby's World?
I believe Stitch was voiced by Chris Sanders.
Okay.
The director of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Saturday morning cartoons, goodbye.
And goodbye,
and hello to cartoons anytime you want them on the internet.
15 years
without the anxiety that you mentioned of having to figure out what to watch. I mean, it was almost like a console wars thing back then. When you had to pick your show, and I remember arguing with my friends over which was the better show to watch at the right time. And we would.
Oh yeah.
Luckily, though, we only had 3 or 4 stations back then, so it wasn't like you had a huge show.
Exactly.
Are you going to watch Thundar the Barbarian or the Chipmunks? I don't know.
Oh, man.
All I know is rock and roll wrestling.
I typed Punky Brewster cartoon into the Googles. And the...
that sounds dangerous.
Safe search is on, don't worry. But... one of the first links that comes up is to an episode on YouTube that is entitled "Glomer Punks Out," which is
was Ashton Kutcher in it?
Punky Brewster cartoon "Glomer Punks Out" is probably the most 80s sentence you can form.
Is that the one? Is that the one where he gets the rainbow mohawk? Because that is awesome.
I have no idea.
I watched way more Punky Brewster than I did.
Oh, look at that though! Voice of Glomer, Frank Welker.
Well, of course it was Frank Welker. Any character that had a weird voice in the 80s was Frank Welker.
Yeah, that's right.
Or animal character.
Yeah. Any animal character even today is
and all the live action stars of the show voiced their respective characters.
Soleil Moon Frye?
Soleil Moon Frye, George Gaines.
Frye.
Huh?
I was in love with Soleil Moon Frye.
Well, how could you not be?
Yeah.
I'm surprised you put that in the past tense. It looks, by the smile on your face, you might still have
Married, not rich.
Yeah.
Man.
All right.
Yeah. So what were we talking about?
Let's keep
more
talking
Saturday
about
morning.
Saturday morning cartoons. This is great. We could fill a couple hours with
Hey,
this.
you know, Hulu has Webster on
God.
episodes of Webster.
Wow,
on there.
really?
You can stream.
Remember that
And,
episode of Webster where some thieves broke into his house and he had to hide in the dumb waiter?
I do remember that.
That's the only thing I remember about Webster. Was Webster fearful that he would be murdered in his home?
The only other episode of that I remember is that somehow doesn't he set their apartment on fire, which then causes them to move into a house?
Does it? Really? I don't remember that.
Good trade up.
Yeah. Somehow he was involved. I don't know.
Yeah.
But rewatching 80s sitcoms, I don't know if you've done this recently. They move so slowly compared to sitcoms of today.
My wife
It is just very slow. Or any like hour-long shows from the 80s. If you rewatch those, it's just like, ugh.
3 networks, 13 channels. Of course they move slowly. They didn't have to move fast.
My wife loves to put on, the station that has a lot of the old reruns of, like, lately I've probably seen more episodes of, like, Different Strokes, because whatever, it comes on at the same time every night. She likes to put those old shows on, and man, they definitely, it is a very different experience watching them now versus back then. It is amazing.
That's right. Yes. They would not hold anyone's interest today.
I love like, I just noticed that in Different Strokes, the last 3 or 4 episodes I've seen, and I forget, Gary Coleman was wearing a different cool rock and roll T-shirt in every episode. Like one he had Van Halen, and then a different episode he had like Culture Club. I'm like looking at it,
Culture Club.
Did
you just call Culture Club rock and roll?
Well, that's why I stopped as soon as I said it. I was like, oh, that's going to come back to bite me in about 10 seconds.
When you said he's wearing different cool rock and roll shirts, my first thought was like, what, do you have like a Ramones shirt or something?
I started with Van Halen. I started with
Van Halen. Come and go.
Like I said, as soon as I said it, as soon as I said cool rock and roll,
He's wearing a Bronski Beat T-shirt.
I can either stop this right now and it'll be strange, or keep on going and suffer the consequences.
Frankie says relax.
Oh, Lord. Most of those episodes were by the time they had the new kid, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That they brought in.
Cousin Oliver.
Oh, yeah.
The little redhead kid.
Yeah, which I had completely forgotten.
I don't remember any of that.
It was not. Cousin Oliver was the first.
He kind of looks like you.
It wasn't
Cousin Oliver.
Nice.
Wait, Cousin Oliver or
Gary Coleman
or the new kid who came on to Different Strokes?
No, yeah, Gary Coleman.
Emmanuel Lewis. Looks like Emmanuel Lewis.
I met Gary Coleman.
Yes, he crossed paths with a lot of video game people.
I almost ran into him. I think I did run into him at E3.
Nice.
Literally ran into him.
He's gigantic.
Because I'm very tall.
Well, I met him at E3. And
I just did an actual spit take right there.
People had a hard time telling us apart. So it was.
I can imagine.
Very weird.
Could happen a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil.
Hey, what?
Guess what?
What?
Nintendo has acquiesced to your demands.
Yeah, I know.
They have added folders to the Wii U
Yeah.
via a software update.
Yeah.
I assume from your response,
folded.
I
was
delighted
delighted.
Because they have so many games to choose from.
Hey, I was just about on the final tab.
Nice.
There, you know, between
What
all
do you
the
buy on
virtual,
that thing? Is it all Virtual Console? Is that what you're?
all the virtual console stuff. eShop game here and there.
We're having some good sales lately, so.
Yeah. Did you know?
I have 3 or 4 pages on mine.
The guy who played Cousin Oliver back on the Brady Bunch.
We're not going to let this go, are we?
No, we are not. You know, he was the voice of Michelangelo in the live-action Ninja Turtle movies.
Wow.
Dude.
Not the recent one, not the Michael Bay produced one, but the 90s ones.
Old school ones.
The good one.
Yeah, boy, that first Ninja Turtles movie was good, right?
It was great.
The second one wasn't too bad.
I wouldn't go that. I wouldn't go that far. You added an extra word in there you didn't need to add.
Have you tried rewatching that? Like,
no.
Now that you are grown up,
it's
it's really bad. It's not good at all.
All right. Well.
At all. So, just saying.
Yeah. And there was a Vita software update.
Yeah. What themes? You have themes now?
Oh, it didn't have.
Did you guys download any of these?
I'm excited about this because finally it gives me something to do with the Vita.
Oh.
Can't really argue with that.
I'm torn though. Which of the model in a bikini theme to get, or which sexy anime character to get?
I believe it's called Japanimation.
Yeah, get it right.
Or have they actually started selling themes on the store?
I don't know.
I downloaded 2 that were free, like
model in bikini.
No.
Sexy anime.
One was like I don't know, a glitter.
Glitter.
One. Yeah, I don't know. It was called something like that.
Like Gary
I feel a little better about my Culture Club reference right now.
The Mariah Carey movie.
And then like a knitted theme that's sort of Little Big Planet-y.
But not.
It's not Little Big Planet.
Okay.
But yeah, those were the 2 that were free, so I downloaded those. And
how the hell did I remember that Mariah Carey was in a movie called Glitter?
Yeah, I wonder how. I saw your DVD shelf, Phil.
Yeah. That, you know what? That I just looked this up. Glitter, starring Mariah Carey, came out in theaters on September 21st, 2001.
Oh.
Which some people.
Wow.
That's why some people refer to it as the second 9/11.
Oh, that's not okay.
What?
No.
Wow.
I'm not going with you on that.
What?
Boo.
Come on.
I'm not even American, and I'm not going with you on that one.
No. Let's see. Okay.
Well, Phil's brought the show down now. CJ, see if you can save it.
All right. Is Crystal and Stitching are the 2 that are free on the PSN store.
Crystal and Stitching?
Yes.
I'm gonna fire up my Vita and
Crystal
get me a
and
couple of those.
Skitching? Did you say
There you go.
Skitching?
Skitching.
What?
Yes.
There's a Skitchin theme?
No.
Let me tell you how
there
that.
is not.
Let me tell you how that reminds me of apartheid.
What? Are you writing an opinion piece for Polygon? Is that what this is about?
I saw the
man.
front page.
That stitching theme really brings to mind Ferguson. And
Jesus.
All right.
yeah,
I think we're done here.
Yeah, I think the show's over. That's it.
Let's talk about what we've been playing, shall we?
okay.
I'm going to let Greg start us off.
What have I been playing? I don't even have the thing open in front of me.
Oh,
Well,
my goodness.
Forza Horizon 2.
Oh, yeah, right. That game.
And Rick has been playing that too.
So,
I
honestly,
sure have.
they don't need to bring anything else out for the rest of the year because the best
Nope.
game has already been released.
It's true.
So, that's all I have to say about that.
Why is it better than the first one? Like, what does this one bring to the table?
It actually feels pretty much the same as the first one. The only thing
Everything old is new again.
Yes, exactly.
It's a mixed bag.
Really, what it's doing is the. Jesus Christ. It feels a lot more free roaming.
Tied to Ebola.
And
Forza fans rejoice.
the environment is a lot more. The environments are a lot more varied than the last game. You know, the last game we were in Colorado, so surrounded by mountains, yada yada yada.
Boring.
Yeah, this game where you're in I guess central. I don't know what you call it. An area of Europe that includes Italy and whatever countries are around Italy and France. That's all I know about my geography. I'm pretty sad. Right? But no, like you've
what just popped into my head was that map of America.
rolling hills. You've got a lot of You've got sort of areas that are much more modern cities, but then you have a lot more smaller,
you going through Turkey?
Old European cities.
Turkey in there?
No.
No?
Anyway.
When you mentioned the map,
Greece?
Think of that Persona map. Did you ever see somebody at Atlas did this map of the United States by memory, like they didn't look anything up, and they just like smooshed everything together. Great. Anyway.
Nice. Anyway, so that, and then of course it looks gorgeous, especially in motion. The game just looks unbelievably good. So I mean, it's more of the same, but it's just better in every single way, and it's still got that same something that Turn 10 does really well, and Playground with Turn 10 in the last game did really well. Like, it's got that great community feeling. The driver tires go a long way with that because, everybody, every car that I'm racing against is generally somebody from my friends list, which there's a level of bullshit there because some of those names, those people aren't even playing the game. But you still, there's this recognition that you have just seeing that, like Rich Grisham's name is over that car. I'm gonna go race that guy. And just great little things like every time you go through a speed trap, it tells you who on your friends list is the next fastest on the list, all in real time. And when you discover new roads, it tells you, okay, you've discovered 135 out of the 360 something roads. Rich Grisham has discovered 140, so he's the next guy you have to catch and pass. And so just a ton of really great little community features in there that, again, I loved from the first game and I really love in this game. And I really like the way they do quick match online racing. So it's basically, they're just areas you go to in the map. They're event areas, but like when you go to that event area, really seamlessly, it's throwing you into a quick game online. It's matching you and getting you into a race that just seamlessly fits in with the single-player mode. Honestly, if they hadn't even told me that they were matching me, I would have thought it was just an event in the single-player game. But it was an online event. So suddenly I'm racing online, and it was completely seamless. It was great. It's just a really, really well put-together game.
I haven't found anything about Forza Horizon 2 that isn't done really well.
It's polished, like unbelievably polished.
I mean, it's funny how we haven't even talked about it yet for a few minutes and haven't mentioned, but the actual racing itself is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great on a couple levels. Like, I'm not a big racing guy. I like racing games, but I'm not particularly good at them. I don't have the patience to learn the right lines or to tap, tap, tap and just get it exactly right. But you don't have to have fun in Forza Horizon 2. Conversely, if you are Greg Stewart and you know these cars and you understand what they bring to the table, you can go in and adjust the most minute things about the tire pressures and the gear ratios, and you can go super deep and get a whole lot more performance out of your car. Or you can just be like me and be like, come on, hurry up, I want to race, let's go, and just not pay attention to any of that. And you can have a good time on any end of the spectrum racing. I've been really impressed by that. And the other thing that I'm really impressed by is no matter what you're doing, you are always progressing, whether it's getting a new achievement or whether it's getting a little bit more XP or whether it's getting a little bit more credits or then quickly leveling up, and then every time you level up, you get a new little perk, and then you get a wheel spin. Like, you're just constantly getting the sense of being rewarded for playing the game almost every time out. It's just, man, it does so many things right.
That's a really good point, and it's something I know that CJ, you've mentioned before with Destiny, where you can get in and play for a really short amount of time and feel like you've accomplished something. Like Forza Horizon 2
at least up until level 20.
Yeah, exactly. Forza Horizon 2 does the exact same thing. I mean, you feel like you're accomplishing things even like every minute in that game. And to speak to what Rich said about the handling, that's another nice thing because it's got that sort of basic Forza engine, like the handling, but it's not as sim-based as the Forza Motorsport games are, although like they're even a little arcadey too. But they toned it down even a little bit more. But it's not to the point that everything feels the same. Like if you're racing, say, like a really high-powered, like an American muscle car, a really high-powered rear-wheel drive car, and you go through a turn and you pour on the gas, the rear end's going to kick out and you're going to be into a power slide and things like that. Whereas if you jump in like a McLaren, you can fly down the road and through these different curves, and the thing just feels glued to the road. And it just, but it's really twitchy because you're moving so fast. So there's an element of that great handling model, but it's like Rich said, it's super forgiving, and it's just a lot of fun to play.
The other thing is, different cars really do feel differently, and not to what Greg is talking about. I probably wouldn't notice that, but very early on, you have the chance to do these things called bucket list challenges. Mm-hmm. So, your first couple of cars, they go really fast and they're fun and stuff. And then you get into the first car of the bucket list challenge, and you're going like twice as fast, and you realize you're like, oh man, this is crazy. Like,
yeah, really.
It delivers so well, and that's, to me, really difficult to do in a car game when you've got all of these amazing real-world cars, is to really push how much more powerful car A is versus car B. That's another thing. Like, I noticed right away. I was like, because at first I thought the game was too easy because I kept winning all these races. And for those people who know me, I'm not good at games. I enjoy them, but I'm not good. But I kept on winning and winning, and then I got in that first bucket list challenge car, and I was like, okay, this thing, I can't control this thing. It's going to go, and I'm just going to hold on for dear life.
And so the other thing that they've added to this sequel is the cross-country stuff, which the first game actually had some DLC that was like a rally mode. So I think that was sort of the genesis of this. And the cross-country races are nuts, but they're so much fun because they're basically saying, okay, like, here's this gigantic playground and there's a bunch of checkpoints, but just go nuts. And like, you're hopping over roads and you're going over these rolling hills and you're weaving through trees and you're doing it all at this ridiculously breakneck speed. And there's a ton of destructible items in the game. Like, and especially if you're playing cockpit view, these races are so intense because if you get into like a field or something like that where everything's like as high as the car, you're basically driving blind. But you don't want to. Me personally, I don't want to turn off the cockpit view because I think it's just so cool and so much fun, and things are just crashing all over the place. And when you're going through like tall grass, the cars in front of you will actually leave a path through as they're going through, like they're cutting it down basically. And you can hit, like, if you hit a building or something, obviously you're going to crash, but it's really forgiving too. Like if you get into sort of a wooded area, it will be a little bit more forgiving with you hitting the trees and stuff like that. So it's just so user-friendly. The game is so user-friendly, which is one of the great things about the first game. So they've just basically upped the ante on everything in this game.
A couple other things I like too is you have a lot of customizableness. That's not a word, but you can customize your cars a lot. For example, I'm now driving around a solid gold Cadillac 2012 Escalade, which just looks great. That was my favorite car until I got a '69 Ferrari Dino 246 GT. Now it's purple, which looks hideously wonderful.
Which Enzo Ferrari would kill you for if you.
Exactly, which is why And of course, my son, who's watching me play these things, he's like, "Get the gold, purple, make it purple." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem, why not?" The other thing too, then, I know I'm talking to the wrong crowd when I say this, but I'm not a big soundtracks guy. But the way that they integrate the music in Forza Horizon 2 is really great. Like, I'm kind of a music snob, but there hasn't been a time where the music has been playing that to me hasn't felt like it was really matched up well with whatever I was doing. And we're talking all sorts of types of music. I just recently got the classical music station too, which is actually really powerful. You got like Vivaldi and Mozart and Walter Matthau all mixed in. What, he didn't write the Bad News Bears theme?
Nice.
I thought he wrote the Bad News Bears. Well, anyway, you got that theme playing, and you're driving, like Greg said, through fields and knocking over trees and bushes and stuff. The music is terrific too. It really adds to the experience as opposed to takes away from it, like music sometimes can in a racing game.
I love the classical. I left the classical music station on for about an hour and a half the other night.
You feel smarter when you're listening to it, don't you?
Yeah. Plus, I love that the announcers are all speaking Italian.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, yeah, it's a fantastic game. I'm so happy with it. I can't put it down. And I started the Player One podcast car club on there as well. Just look for the P1P club.
Yeah, I've joined it last night. There's a bunch of folks in there.
Yeah, joined the first night.
Joining a club, which you can't do right away, you got to get through a few, not a lot, but I think 3 or 4 championships.
Yeah.
definitely ramps up the social integration even more. Like, I'm noticing more and more now. I'm passing Greg Seward a lot in my races, which is fun.
Coming the other way, maybe.
But all of the Player One podcast club members, they wind up showing up a lot more, and again, just adds, every little bit adds, and that's just another cool little wrinkle.
And if you're part of a club, the clubs actually reach different tiers, and when they do, everyone gets an XP award. So everyone in the club,
that's cool.
So there's a reason to do it.
Huh.
Yeah. So, yeah. I haven't checked the reviews on the 360 version of the game. I've heard not great things, but I haven't really checked the reviews. So, but the Xbox One version is fantastic.
Yeah, it cost me I wasn't even going to buy this game. I have not really played my Xbox One much at all this year, and the Forza Horizon 2 demo completely sold me, and it was not misleading. The game is just as fun as the demo made it out to be.
That's all I got to say about that.
What else you got, Greg?
I don't know. What else is on my list?
Shadow of Mordor?
Oh, yeah, I played Shadow of Mordor.
Is that great? I'm hearing good things.
After I had to sneak up on my wife and give her a kiss, I was...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was,
you had to do that before you could go downstairs and start playing video games, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was beheading orcs and running them through, and it was good fun, and it was good, clean fun. And then all of a sudden, I was sneaking up on my wife, and I don't know, it turned me off.
I heard great things about this game. Really good things. I
messed around with that game for about an hour before I even went and did the first story mission. It's a free-roaming Middle-earth game. You're playing in Mordor. That's why it's called Shadow of Mordor. And seriously, they drop you down into the middle of this huge map, and you're basically playing Assassin's Creed in Mordor. So you're doing the free running thing. You unlock a bunch of different abilities as you go along, but the way it works is there's Sauron's forces, their armies. They're all Uruk-hai, and what you do is there's all these different targets all over the map. You have to learn about them, and you have to get intel about them, which you do by interrogating various creatures that you're fighting. But you get to see okay, there's a slaver over here, and one of his prisoners is this soldier that knows something about Sauron. Let's say it's not who it is, or one of these other captains, Uruk-hai captains. So you want to go there, and you have a bunch of different ways that you enter this slaver camp. And you have a bunch of different ways you can tackle it. It's okay, you walk in and you see there's some slaves there, and there's a bunch of Uruk-hai, and there's your target. And if you got enough intel about him, not only his name and stuff, you learn that he's really susceptible to long-distance attacks, which, of course, you've got an elven bow. So it's okay, that's good to know. And then you also know that he can't be frightened away, so you can't... Because enemies, if you scare them enough, they'll run from you. So you sort of survey the area, and you see there are points where there's a bunch of archers around. It's okay, well, I'm going to take the archers out first. So I climbed up, and I would start taking the archers out. And, of course, I screwed up and got seen. So then I ended up running around a lot and getting a whole crew of them to chase me. But still, so you beat these characters down, and then you can interrogate them if you want, or you can just murder them or kiss them. Yeah, but no, it's really cool. I really
depending on how long you hold down the button. If you just tap it, you give a kiss, and if you hold it down,
it's pressure sensitive.
It's a decapitation.
Yes, much like they are. They're pressure sensitive.
Okay.
But no, it was cool because then there was also, and they get to know you. You overhear them talking about this ranger that's in Mordor, and although there's more to the story than that. But you can free slaves, and there was at one point I saw a whole troop of them walking. There was a whole troop of Uruk-hai, about 8 of them, walking along in a line trying to go somewhere. And of course I snuck up behind them, and I was stealth killing each one of them up the line, which was kind of cool. But then I actually got seen by one of my other targets, and he attacked me, but he had a whole crew with him, so I couldn't really do anything. I ended up running, and then I actually later. I always see where he is on the map now, and I know some of his weaknesses, but later I was hearing other orcs and things talk about how he scared me away.
Mm-hmm.
how he defeated the Ranger and things like that. So they've done a really good job of creating like a sort of a living world. Like these characters aren't just in a vacuum. Like everything's related, and everything you do and everything you have done seems to be kind of building up in their memories. And yeah, it's just really cool. It's just a big open world game. It's like Assassin's Creed, and when you get into battles, it's basically Batman, the Arkham series. The fighting is like the Arkham series.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it a lot.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will.
Very tempted.
I'll have to shoplift the copy.
Yeah, I think you'd like it, Phil. I really think you'd like it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's on the back burner right now because there's just so many games starting to hit in the next couple of weeks. But
seriously.
I do want to play it.
I helped pay for mine by getting rid of Destiny.
Probably not a bad idea.
Destiny, is it good or bad this week? Because it seems like some weeks Destiny's great, some weeks Destiny's bad. What week are we in right now?
Depends on whether there's a loot cave open or not.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's a good game. It's more me being too stupid to not pre-order the games like that because those games just aren't for me. The massively multiplayer games.
Did you see the Reddit Ask Me Anything?
No.
That was supposedly from a Bungie employee talking about all of the things that they cut.
I heard something about a lot of the story stuff getting cut.
Yeah. Kind of interesting. I mean, Greg, you know this. In game development, things get cut.
No, yeah.
That's just one of those things that happens. And, of course, if you're Activision and you're spending $500 million on a game that has to ship, third quarter 2014, you got to do something.
Yeah.
You want a great story and terrible mechanics, or do you want great mechanics and no story? I think everybody would pretty much agree with the decision that was made.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like I said, me getting rid of it's less than an indictment of the game, really. I think what's there was decent. I think it definitely could have been better, but it's not for me. It's not what I'm interested in, And I knew that going in.
Yeah.
But I gave it a shot anyway.
Titanfall was the last game for me where I'm like, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to play a game that requires me to be in a large group of a lot of people on a regular basis, and that's why I think I like Forza Horizon 2 so much, because you get all that social interaction without the messiness of actually having to be with people.
Without all that social interaction?
Yeah, so, that kind of works great, I think.
You're absolutely right, and I should have learned my lesson with Titanfall, and I didn't. So,
yeah.
Again, not saying Titanfall's a bad game, just
exactly.
not my kind of game.
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah.
It's all me.
It seems like the Drivatar system and even Drive Club, which comes out this week, I think, right?
Yes.
It has a lot of that social stuff where you don't have to be online at the same time as your friends, but you can still get that experience of playing with a group of people. And shooters don't have that at all. Shooters don't have that.
Bots.
Yeah, shooters have just
Drivatars are basically bots.
Yeah. but
I mean, when the reboot of SSX came out, that was one of the best uses of that. When it was new, I think there was a Need for Speed sort of introduced it, and that's why, again, like even the golf club, right, which I talked about, you can be playing golf with your friends, but not live. You don't have to worry about that stuff. All those games that do that, just for me, somebody who I have a lot of people in my community, but trying to actually be online at the same time as the people in that community is a virtual impossibility.
Right. Yep. Yeah, so I mean, Shadow of Mordor,
right?
Also quite worth picking up, I think. Although I have heard that it gets a little bit frustrating later on, and it does that thing where, like in GTA games, always happens to me too, where I look at the map, it's like, oh, what's that icon mean?
Exactly.
There's an interrogate over here, and there's an artifact over here.
I hear though that it's not
as
bad with that stuff as like Assassin's Creed is, where they just like layer upon layer of things to do on each map. It
doesn't seem to be, and so the thing is too with this game is that you're constantly switching between the regular world and the ring world. Like if to find artifacts and things like that, you have to be in the ring world. So there's kind of a cool switching up of the visuals and the play styles pretty consistently. So I played it for about an hour and a half so far, and I enjoyed it. I'm going to go back to it for sure. If Alien doesn't pull me away from it.
Alien Isolation.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only other game that I looked at this week that I know you guys aren't going to talk about, because I know we're all going to talk about Smash Brothers here pretty soon, is Spirit of Spring.
What is this?
I don't know.
It
sounds
Minority
arty.
Media's new game.
Sounds arty. What?
It's Minority Media's new game. It's the Papa
right. Papa.
Yeah, so it didn't come out on consoles. For some reason, I assumed it was coming out on consoles, but this is actually an iOS game or tablet game. I don't know if it's on those other tablets as well.
What's it called again?
Spirit of Spring.
Spirit of Spring.
I think it might be Spirits of Spring. So this is supposed to be their game about bullying, which I've played probably an hour. I like what I'm playing so far, but I'm disappointed that it's an iOS game. Not because iOS games can't be good, but this one seems so simple right now. I'm literally just holding my finger and telling my character where to go in like an overhead world.
Yeah. Which
it looks pretty nice. It sounds gorgeous. The sound and design in the game is fantastic, but and it's an interesting story so far. But then that leads to kind of my other disappointment, which is with Papa and Yo. When I went into it, I didn't know what it was about. Yeah. I didn't know what the message was, or that it was drawing on, like the designer's personal pain, basically. With this one, everyone's known forever that they're doing a game about bullying. So I'm kind of playing it, waiting for that to play out, as opposed to discovering it and naturally seeing it play out. So maybe a silly thing to complain about, but it's always in the back of my mind when I'm playing it that it's like, okay, what does this mean? And then I want to go write a Polygon editorial.
Let me ask you this, because I really love Rockstar's Bully. Would I be interested in this at all?
It's practically the same game.
Okay. Yeah, for a portable version of that, I'd be down with that. I'm gonna have to look into it.
These guys really go for the lighthearted fare, don't they? My goodness.
Yeah, well, it's kind of although it's funny because their previous game, that's exactly what it was. It was just like a physics-based driving game where you built your own car and then ran it along these different courses. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep playing it, but I feel like I've already put too much. I've got my expectations are way too high for this, and I feel like that's going to ruin the game for me. But I'm going to keep playing it. Whenever I can wrestle the iPad away from my son and Castle Doom bad,
that's right,
and I'll continue to play this. Yeah, that's mostly what I've been playing this week.
Yeah. All right, Phil.
Yeah.
You want to share what you've been playing? Should we talk Hyrule Warriors for one thing?
I did not turn that on this week.
Do that.
Really? So everyone likes Hyrule Warriors?
No. Yeah, I can't say that I do.
Well,
that's a great game.
I don't care about you. You're determined to hate it.
Stewie, you should try it. I am interested in your opinion.
I'm going to.
Since you don't like Dynasty Warriors.
I really don't.
So, yeah, I'm not sure what you'll think of this, but
I just think it's hilarious, CJ, is seeing all your very positive comments about it, and me just thinking, yeah, that's they've been doing that in Dynasty Warriors for years.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in ancient China.
You don't care about the Chinese or Japanese people?
No,
or the Gundam
I'm not
people?
interested in that as a setting. It's just like in shooters, I prefer a sci-fi setting.
Wow.
Wow. I like that sci-fi shit.
God, I don't know. They got
realistic.
American.
World War I, World War II, etc.
Ow. So let me ask you this: if they were to come out with a animated Punky Brewster Musou game, would you be more or less interested than one set in ancient China?
Very interested. Extreme interest.
Yeah. Okay.
Right there.
There we go.
Glomer Warriors, is that what you said?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. For me, it's theme. It comes down to theme. Zelda is a series that I love with characters that I like. So there you go.
Really, you're really into all the Zelda characters?
I am. Yeah.
Really, who's your favorite Zelda character?
Link.
Link.
Don't say Link.
Zelda.
Aside from Link, Zelda, or Ganon.
Sheik.
It doesn't have other characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Impa.
I was dying.
What about
I
Darunia?
really wanted to see that Impa from the instruction booklet of the first game was a playable character.
Old lady Impa?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we'll see some DLC.
I hope so.
Yeah.
No, but since it's from Team Ninja, she'd have huge
Yeah, well, of course.
bosoms.
They're pronounced gazongas.
Breasticles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
They went on the top there on Sia, huh? A little
yeah.
Well, it's Team Ninja.
bit Team Ninja. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think of it, Phil? Being a fan.
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I'm having
for Phil.
having some good times with it. I'm a little disappointed because I don't feel like I'm learning anything about Chinese history or feudal Japan or anything like that.
Were you really learning anything about Chinese history or feudal Japan in those other games?
You know what? Actually,
I mean, aside from the fact that Nobunaga was like the devil, but every game since the beginning of
Yeah.
video games has taught us that.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually did.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously, it is a video.
Who's your favorite
game
general? Go.
in
Name 'em all.
in Dynasty Warriors.
Don't say Lu. You can't say Lubu.
Oh man, Sheik. Sheik.
Sheik, that's a Zelda character. You're lying.
You can say anybody at this.
Yeah, the thing is you can say whatever you want because none of us know.
Shao Pan.
Uh huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is that a Mortal Kombat character?
Way to get him,
Oh
CJ.
wait, that's Shao Kahn.
You showed
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you like it? That's good. How
I
far
do.
are you into the game?
Like 5.
Minutes?
5?
Just
leave it
talking
at
about
5.
random numbers no good. We need
5.
some context there.
What part of 5 don't you understand? It's 5.
Moving on. I'm a few levels. I've played through a few levels so far and tinkered around a little bit with the adventure mode,
Yeah.
which is kind of a cool little. I don't know if you've messed with that at all.
I have a little bit, but it's not quite as straightforward as I like.
Translation: I don't understand what's going on.
I don't understand what's going on. Exactly.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
It's you're just getting little missions. You
are, yeah.
you explore the Zelda 1 map through missions that take place in the Hyrule Warriors game space. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm digging it. Did you? I didn't get a chance to listen to last week's show yet because I simply don't care for any of you.
Say, let's be honest. Most of these shows.
But normally I
It
do
bothers
listen.
me more that you pretend you do.
I do usually listen to shows that I am not on because I just want to see if you're making fun of me. Yes, the answer is yes, though.
Yes.
Yeah, always yes.
No, I know. So I have no idea. Did you purchase the DLC? Did you even talk about that?
I don't think we did, but I did not purchase the DLC.
I see.
Did you?
DLC. I did. I actually sprung for it. I was enjoying the game so much I figured, yes, I will.
You were only 5 missions in. I'm 12 or 13 missions in.
I'm more than 5 missions in. That was a lie.
Okay. That was a lie.
Yeah.
How many are you? Whereabouts are you in the game?
Well, yeah, early on, obviously, it branches into the 3 different timelines.
Yeah.
I'm working my way through those.
Okay. I have just completed those.
No, okay.
I've done maybe 1 or 2 missions after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which automatically makes you 100% more qualified to review the game than most of the people who did review the game.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think I'm just really having a lot of fun with it. I like the, you look at the map, you see where you're going to be heading, and things change
Shadow
during
of
the
Mordor,
battle.
map being beheading. What are we talking about?
And it'll say, you know, the conditions have changed or the losing conditions have changed and all that. And I kind of likened it to the first Dead Rising game, where you were in this world and things were happening around you that you could either deal with or not deal with, but you had to decide. And each mission in Hyrule Warriors is a little bit like that, because certain keeps will be about to fall, and you'll, you know, either run over there and help, or you'll have to, you know, decide whether it's worth doing that, or should you press on to the ultimate goal of the mission. And I like that stuff.
You know, that's not a new feature.
I know.
That sort of thing.
Oh my God, we're gonna have 3 months of Phil saying "I told you so."
But I'm enjoying it in Hyrule Warriors because, again, Zelda.
Yeah, exactly. So. Just slap that license on there, and you got CJ.
I feel like this game, you know, yes, it is slap that license on a Musou game.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Gundam Musou games and the Fist of the North Star Musou games and even One Piece, like, those are good, but I don't feel like they've quite had the amount.
The Fist of the North Star ones aren't very good.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Were they good games or good Musou games?
I feel like in this game you've got a lot of care and attention being paid to I don't know, the gameplay and the license. It just feels better.
So let me ask you this, CJ.
Feels better.
Let me ask you this.
Zelda.
Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah.
Is it a good game, or is it a good Wii U game?
Oh, Jesus.
Because...
It's a good game. It's a good game.
Okay. But is it a good Wii U game?
Well, I've mostly been playing on the gamepad, so yes.
Oh, okay.
I guess
I would say that reasoning.
Time will tell.
Yeah, should we talk about Smash Brothers?
Okay.
What's this now?
We got that. Smash Brothers for 3DS.
That is quite a popular title, as evidenced by the massive line of people waiting outside the Nintendo store in New York City. Blocks and blocks. I was blown away by that. Not that it's so popular, just that you would think if you're going to wait in line, you just go and buy it digital and just walk up and down the line getting all those street passes.
So I gotta ask something.
Yeah.
And know that I haven't really put in any real time into Smash Brothers ever. So
Right.
I did play some of the GameCube game back in the day, but not very much. Why is it that the default controls for this game are completely backwards from every other game since the beginning of time? Like, what is the deal with that?
Yeah.
That's the appeal, right? That's the reason it's so popular.
Oh my God! I for the first hour I'm playing it, it's like, oh, I can get used to these. I couldn't get used to those.
No.
Yeah.
You go in and change the controls.
I have now.
Good.
I
Good
did
lad.
that right away.
Oh my God! Like, it just.
First of all, taking the jump off of that tap up.
Yeah.
First thing I did. Off.
And I still can't get the hang of hold the analog or the whatever that is, the slide stick to walk, tap it to run. I can't get used to that for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
But I don't want to change that because I feel like I'm just going to be screwing up any of the moves I do. So, I don't know.
Could be. Because there's a lot of charge moves that involve the tap.
There are.
You see.
Yes.
Yeah. I was very rusty on my Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah, so am I.
Is Rusty a character?
And no, but he should be.
He's in the indie Smash Brothers. You of course know Rusty. Steam World Dig now available on Wii U.
Oh, I thought we were talking real deal baseball.
I thought we were talking baseball as well.
Absolutely.
No, I was talking about
Sports Game of the Year 2013.
You know, strangely enough,
every year is.
Strangely enough, the first-party Nintendo title doesn't really count as an indie game.
No.
It wouldn't really.
No, it does
go
not.
that far. Although
Starts.
Rusty should totally be in the next Smash Brothers for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like this game, my skills have atrophied over many years since I've not played a Smash Brothers really with any seriousness since Melee.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, on the GameCube. But I am slowly getting into this one. The first couple matches I played, I lost, and the computer was only on like difficulty level 2. So to make me feel really bad, yeah. But then I went into the training mode. I switched the controls for one thing.
Yep.
Went into the training mode with Pac-Man, who I knew was in it, but had kind of forgotten that he wasn't just an unlockable character. He was available from the start, and started using him. And I started having a lot of fun with it, especially because you can leave the computer on difficulty level 2 and feel like you're actually doing pretty well. Of course, then when you go online to play, then you realize how terrible you really are.
You will know that you suck.
But yeah, so I've been playing the classic mode, and in that you kind of you can select a difficulty, and it gives you different amounts of bonus items based on like the difficulty you choose, right, Phil? Is that what it is?
Yes.
So you can you can pay a couple coins in and get more bonus stuff, which is awesome.
Oh, sorry.
But I'm terrible against the giant hand at the end.
What?
I just I'm no good.
I know you're playing on easy.
Oh yeah.
You suck.
Difficulty level 2.
One thing I gotta say, man, that front end.
Yeah.
So that must be like the same designer from Mario Golf, or.
Yeah, everything's just kind of all over the
Everything's
place.
hidden.
Yeah.
They have a ton of features in this game, and everything is like
Everything's hidden.
drill down like 4 menus deep to get to the mode that you want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, my biggest thing with, and this is nitpicking because I think the game itself is actually, I really enjoy it. I'm having a lot of fun with it. But like, I went into like the challenges screen, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it's making reference to all these game modes that I did not know existed. Like,
Right,
and I go back to the main menu, like, how do I get to this stuff? Like, I don't even know. And I go into like extras and.
You realize, of course, that any Smash fan is listening to us talking about this and is just like shaking their heads with disgust.
But what I will
saying.
say, that I really like is actually that challenges screen is great, because for me it was almost, once I did figure out that all these different modes were there, it was almost overwhelming. It's like, well, what do I play first? Like,
Right, exactly.
Not story mode, but like the classic mode and all that stuff. I want to try everything out. And that challenges screen actually kind of guides me a lot. It's like, so it says play this level 3 times in solo. Well, I'm going to go do that. So now I'm playing solo mode a lot, and you know, and as you unlock those new challenges, all the peripheral ones unlock, so you get to see what the next challenge is. It's a nice feature. It's pretty smart. It's the only thing about the front end.
Accidentally unlock a challenge, then it can reveal even more spaces and things.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I like the hammers that you can use to unlock challenges that you can't.
Oh yeah.
The golden hammers.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have a limited
Itself
number of
is
those. You realize.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I found it I figured out after I used 2 that I have a limited number. Wish I had that back.
Very nice.
Oopsie.
But
it's
I just like that you can configure pretty much everything about the game.
Yeah,
And
once you
no
find
matter
it.
what skill level you're at, whether you're a total Smash fanatic and think everything's too easy, or you're like us and totally lame at everything Smash Brothers related, you can find some amount of entertainment in playing this. So always something to do.
Yeah, I really, once I started getting into it, I really digging it. I'm still figuring out the nuances of actually playing the game, because like I said, I've never ever really played Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, but ton of characters. The stages are really interesting. Although,
and even the gag characters, like Pac-Man, I would think is
Pac-Man's
like
awesome.
throwaway character, but he's awesome, and I might actually just continue using Pac-Man through most of the game.
And I like that you have that what is it, Galaxian power up?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tractor beam thing.
Yeah, the tractor beam.
That's Galaga.
Is it Galaga? I couldn't remember
Yeah,
if it was
Galaga
Galaga.
has the.
No.
But the one thing I will say is I'm glad I'm not playing this on the older style 3DS, because man, when the screen zooms out, everything in this game is so
Everything's tiny.
tiny.
Yes, it is.
Which I get why. I mean, that's Smash Brothers, but yeah, it's so tiny. But I love the stages in particular. I'm really digging. Like I love the Rainbow Road stage and where the little shy guys go racing by every now and then.
Picto Chat stage. Have you checked
yes,
that
the Picto Chat stage was pretty cool. And I love Little Max stage, mostly because of the music. But
the Tomodachi Life stage that I think actually like takes the residents that are in your apartment building and
really
places them into the game. Yeah, because I saw a couple people that I actually have in my game.
Huh.
Maybe it's just taking the Mii's off of your system and assuming that you have them in Tomodachi Life, but
probably just doing that.
That's probably
just doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Have you messed with the character creator at all?
A little bit, yeah. I created a Mii of myself, of course.
A Mii of me?
A Mii of me.
My Mii?
Yeah.
Me?
A brawler. Because I'm a brawler.
You are a brawler, yeah. Yeah. I heard about you.
You did start that wild melee at PAX East a couple of years ago.
That's right.
Still paying the lawyer's fees for that one.
True.
We're not supposed to talk about that on the show.
Sorry, cut that.
Yeah.
I created a character as well, a sword fighter, but I haven't actually used him yet. So
yeah,
I haven't really tried that too much.
And you can also alter the move sets of the existing characters. Too.
Yeah.
So if you want a certain type of Mario or a certain type of Pac-Man, you can go in and futz with them all you want, which is great.
Yep.
It really feels like there's no limits to what you can do in this game.
Yeah, it's very customizable. What was that word Rich used? Customizable?
Customizationness.
Lots of that going on.
Yeah.
But I need to play more of it to really form a better opinion of it. I've only played maybe an hour.
Yeah. All right. Phil, you got anything else?
No, that's all I've really been playing this week is Hyrule and Smash.
All right, Rich, what do you got?
Well, I wanted Mike Phillips mentioned it last week, but I wanted to say again, the Murasaki Baby on the Vita, I was lucky enough to get the review for that for Games Radar, which I would not have played the game had I not gotten that, and I'm so glad I did because it is a wonderful game that makes terrific use of the Vita as a system with the front touch and the back touch. It's kind of game when I first started playing it, because of the art style, I was like, I'm not going to like this. This is not my kind of game. It's way too weird and way too just not me. And by the end, I was completely enthralled by how they, by the purposefulness of the way the game was created. Tons of emotion, tons of really little beautiful subtleties to the game. For example, in the game Murasaki Baby, you are leading a young child through a journey of various types of dreamscapes. She's she's looking for her mother, and she's woken up and she's confused and alone, and you're leading her along, and you do it by holding her hand. And when it's a nice, vibrant, bright world, you lead her along and she kind of hops and skips and goes very happily with you. But when it's dark and scary, you lead her along and she's kind of leaning back and very unhappily going forward. But she still does it because you are leading her along, and you kind of have that moment when you're like, whoa, this is happening because this character completely trusts me. And it's strange because you don't know what you're leading her to. It's a really amazing experience that I cannot recommend. I know it's $15 and it's very short, but to me those are two good things, not bad things. Right. I know to a lot of people the short experience is equates to negative, but I'm the opposite. Like, this is 3 or 4 hours long, and to me it was perfectly paced and structured. There was no filler. There was a bunch of interesting ways to play the game, a bunch of interesting mechanics, and I really, really, really got a lot out of Murasaki Baby. So just wanted to mention that. Really terrific game.
I'm going to have to play this. I just don't want to spend $15 on it.
Right. Well, I mean, and right, it'll be a PS Plus game at some point.
Yeah.
It's clear it will be. But really just really interesting, really enjoyable, and really powerful in ways that I was not anticipating. And of course, I think being a parent probably helps a little bit with that too.
That's that because listening to you and Mike speak about that, that's the thing that keeps running through my mind is like actually I think you put it really well when you said like this character trusts you completely even though you don't really know what you're doing, and I mean you just described parenthood, so
yes.
Especially with smaller children, and it's like that seems so interesting to me, but I just don't want to take the plunge at $15.
Yeah. Well, you've got two people telling you it's worth it, so take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, it's true.
And like I said, on the Vita, you know that you're going to have a nice, brief experience with it, so it's not going to be one of those games.
Because the batteries won't last long enough for...
But the other game I've been playing, Chris, I asked you this question at PAX East. I believe it was this past one that we went to. As we've talked about in the past, I've really only become a Nintendo person since my son was born. I mean, I had Nintendo systems my whole life, but I didn't get into a lot of the franchises that most Nintendo fans are just by de facto fans of, like Zelda, for example, and so many of the other like Pikmin and just so many of those other franchises. So I asked you, I said, CJ, if I was going to play my first Zelda game, what game should it be? And I've dabbled in Zelda games in the past, like, for example, the one that came out when the Wii first came out. Which one was that?
Oh,
Twilight Princess?
Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
That's the very worst one to dabble in.
Yeah. I played it for 3 or 4 hours, but you told me A Link Between Worlds. And I was looking for a good game. I do a lot of traveling for work, and so my 3DS and my Vita come along with me. And I was just looking for something good. I know there's so many great games on the 3DS. I'm just looking for the right kind of game. And so they've been having a bunch of good sales recently on the eShop.
The Smash sales, right?
Yeah.
And I've heard everybody on the show rave about A Link Between Worlds, and then I saw it. And I actually was interacting with some of the community over at Dot Scientifics as well. And everybody, almost universal, A Link Between Worlds is the game to get. So I got it, and I'm playing it, and it's awesome. I love it. I'm so happy this is the first extended experience with Zelda because it's so well done, and it's so welcoming. I mean, most franchises that you don't have a lot of experience with, you don't feel welcome. You almost...
Sure.
feel the opposite, but this game just brings you right in, and I get the sense that if you're like me, it's a lot of fun, but also if you played every Link or every Zelda game before, it's also, I'm sure there's a lot of things happening that are callbacks to different games and things like that. It's a wonderful game. I love the mechanics, like just being able to meld into the walls, and I love the little animations and how your eyes look around, and so many wonderful little things. I remember when it came out, you guys were having some pretty heated debates about the concept of renting different weapons versus having to buy them. I'm enjoying renting them because I kind of feel like I can do anything I really need to do when I get presented with the problem or with the situation. I played about 6 or 7 hours of it, so I'm a decent way into it, and it gets better and better and better. It's a wonderful game. I'm just so happy that this is the game that I've chosen to play because it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you're playing it. I keep playing it because it never stops getting better.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
Like right till the game's over. So
cool.
Now, what you have to do now is once you finish this, go back and play Link to the Past.
Okay.
Yes.
No, actually, I would recommend not doing that.
I would recommend that. Don't listen to CJ. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, because I'll say this: Link Between Worlds is like a slightly not as good version of Link to the Past.
What?
Oh boy.
I knew CJ wouldn't be happy with that.
Because Link, and don't get me wrong, Link Between Worlds is fantastic, amazing game. I love it. But Link to the Past is still better.
Is Link to the Past? I assume it's available on 3DS through some sort of virtual console.
I have
no, it is not.
Because one of the reasons that I'm so happy I'm playing it on the 3DS is that is the kind of the only way that I will be able to play a game like this. don't have whether it's a personal, like just a mindset thing or whatever. My console is kind of meant for the different like sports leagues that I'm in, and like Forza Horizon, and like, to play a Zelda game to me, it's just perfect on a 3DS because I'm out in the world and I'm traveling for work and stuff, and I'm able to sit down and play it on the plane or at the hotel, and so I'm kind of hoping that whatever the next one is also available on the virtual console.
Seems a little racist.
Well, I do live in New Jersey.
Think about Link to the Past.
That doesn't mean
I love Link to the Past, or I loved it back when. But when you go back to it, I don't think the controls are as good as Link Between Worlds.
Oh, CJ.
That's really the crux of my issue with going from Link Between Worlds to Link to the Past.
Considering I've have played through it somewhat recently and have had no problems with it, but whatever.
I'm saying if Link Between Worlds is your first Zelda, and then I would not suggest going back to Link.
You're a fool.
Anyway,
Rich.
Maybe I'm a fool.
Rich.
Yes.
You know what you should try though?
What's that?
If you want another portable Zelda, if you're getting the itch after this,
Minish Cap.
And, well,
that's not available on 3DS.
You know what? Yeah, it's not on 3DS.
It was one of the early adopter games, though.
It is if you were a ambassador.
I am.
Were able to get it.
You're
an ambassador?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then you already have.
Then you have Minish Cap.
Then you have Minish Cap, which is outstanding.
Okay.
Yes.
You can also get Link's Awakening, which was the Game Boy / Game Boy Color game.
Shame to say I've never played through that.
Oh, Link's Awakening is very good. It's getting up there with Link to the Past.
Well, it's funny too. I think might have been through the ambassador program as well that I got like the original Link.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it for half an hour, and I had absolutely no idea what to do at any point in time. I'm like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, the original Zelda, they really throw you in the deep end in that game.
It was a product of its time for sure.
Oh yeah, it's not a negative. I just
Link to the Past is not like that at all.
No.
Well,
that's the thing about Link Between Worlds. Like, it brings you right in, and you just start playing, and you get introduced at a nice pace. Like, there's none of the confusion and uncertainty around the original Link, which again, like I said, is when it came out was. I mean, I remember when that game came out, people raving about it. I just, those conversations you remember hearing. I remember as a kid hearing an adult say, yeah, I'm like shocked. There's this game called Zelda, and I thought it was like just a little kid's game, and it's awesome. I'm playing it when my son goes to bed. So
yeah,
but boy, trying to play that thing right now. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's true.
Very true. All right, Rich, you have anything else, or we should move on?
Well, just real quick, FIFA came out, and I love FIFA, but have I mentioned I'm not good at games? I'm not good at games.
I've heard that about you.
And so I'm a big fan of an English Premier League club called Everton, and I decided that I would take on the challenge of trying to play a season of Everton in the Premier League on the professional level of FIFA. And it's grown into quite an amusing thing. I don't know if you guys know how English soccer works, but if you finish in the last three standings, you get thrown out of the league at the end of the year.
Whoa!
And it'd be like, if the Seattle Seahawks had a bad year, they just get kicked out of the NFL.
Which really would that be such a bad thing?
Notice I picked the Seahawks for a reason, but Everton is not a top club, but they are a good club. And right now, going through this season, I'm professional. I'm a little more than halfway through, and I'm literally in last place. And a lot of people on Twitter are enjoying my post-game screenshot recaps and following my futile attempt to try to at least not get thrown out of the Premier League as one of the better clubs in the Premier League. So
look at it this way: if you get thrown out, then you get to spend a season earning your way back in.
That's right. Yeah. So, and on top of that, it's not just playing the game. there's also all of the. I mean, if I'm a big sports fan, and I still have a hard time figuring out like transfer markets. Like players from all around the world are just getting bought and sold. It's so different than American sports. And
you know what's wrong with soccer?
What's that?
The offside rule. That makes
That's true.
Man.
So yeah, if
simple in hockey.
So I've been doing that, and it's actually kind of fun trying to. Well, it's not fun losing regularly, but it is fun. Like so many of my friends and people on Twitter are like giving me tips and saying, "Well, try this and try that." And one of my friends, Corey, actually wrote up a whole thing for me to try to do. I'm a mess, frankly. I'm just an absolute mess. So, but it's fun. So I'm doing that. So that's cool.
Cool. All right. Well, we mostly talked about what I had been playing, but there was a new game on iOS.
Is it an Adult Swim game?
Adult Swim.
Nice.
That's right.
Finally.
I didn't know they still make games.
Adventure Express. That's XPRESS. It's a match 3 RPG. Well, it's a match 3 game with RPG trappings, and you go around the map. You play as a courier, like a male courier, and you can be a male or female courier, by the way. And you deliver the mail, basically, while running into monsters that would like to defeat you. And it's really fun. Some of the story bits and some of the weapon names were written by a friend of the show, Brandon Kramer, who has been a guest on our show, and also on the Jump Kick Punch podcast. So it's really funny and really well done. Developed by Pickpock, published by Adult Swim for your iOS device, iPhone, iPad, and it's a great game. I love it. Better even maybe than Castle Doom Bad, although, hey, I love Castle Doom Bad.
My son would agree with that.
Fun. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So download that.
Oh, I want to ask Greg a question. Greg,
I'd like to answer a question.
Has your son discovered Minecraft?
My son and oldest daughter have both discovered it. We don't have it. So they have played at their cousin's place, and they've watched endless videos of it on YouTube. But no, they've not gotten to play it. We don't have a copy in the house.
Because my son is 7, and he's been playing games for several years now, and he has played Portal and Mario and Fez and a whole bunch of stuff. And he tried Minecraft about a year ago, and he sort of liked it. But ever since he went back to school this year, he's in 2nd grade, and he's just like Minecraft has completely taken over his mindset. If he could, he would play Minecraft all day, every day.
Yeah.
Even when he's not playing Minecraft, when he's outside playing with his friends, he's got his Minecraft pickaxe, and they're out there playing real world Minecraft. Like, it's amazing the transformation that he and all his friends, like all of them, to listen to them talk about Minecraft. It's fascinating. And I like video games, and I know a lot more about them than most people. And to hear these 7-year-olds talk about Minecraft is amazing. Like, you hear them say, "Oh, well, if you get the cobstone, and then you get this this extra special stuff, and then you cook it in the furnace, you get TNT," and like they're just trading like recipes and and strategies back and forth together. It's amazing. So I know your son plays and stuff. So I was just curious if Minecraft has taken over his world.
We have not gone down that rabbit hole yet.
Boy,
I've been successfully avoiding it for a while now.
Yeah, it's just fascinating how Minecraft just completely dominates the world, or at least these kids' world. It's amazing.
It is true.
Yes.
Should we take a break? Does anyone need to take a break real quick before we do some tweets?
I could take a 30-second break.
All right.
I'm fine.
I'll be right back.
Well, let's take a break.
Okay.
And CJ,
in case anyone needs it. I don't need it.
We didn't do a
You
clap.
play that Saturday morning cartoon after
that was the other
jingle?
thing. We also need to do a clap.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot to do.
Yeah.
Oops.
About halfway through, I'm like, wait a second, we didn't do a clap. How the heck is CJ going to put this show together?
I came to the same realization. We'll put it at the end instead of the beginning. It'll be fine. It'll work out somehow. Yeah.
Yes.
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 Mike Phillips was talking about that Bonza game on iOS, by the way, the sort of weird crossword thing, reverse crossword.
Yeah.
I'm playing a lot of that. That's really good too on iOS. In fact, I plunked down some cash and bought one of the puzzle packs on that.
Did you now?
I did. I did.
And this is supposed to make me
I don't know.
Sing a tune, do a little dance for you.
Sing a tune, do a jig, please.
CJ bought a game. CJ bought a game. Like that?
That's pretty good. I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Panty.
Hey, Glomer.
And it's the worst Sully Moon Fry impression I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't got a Soleil Moon Fry impression in my
working on that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, when Greg said 30 seconds, he really meant 3 minutes. I think is the moral of the story.
Apparently.
On this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Charlotte is way into Tangled now.
It's a good movie.
The movie of choice. Yeah.
Good movie.
Mm-hmm. It is a good movie.
Yep.
So, and Aladdin. She's way into Aladdin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What, you watching it on DVD?
Yeah.
Ugh, you let her do that?
I know.
Oof.
I know, crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, my super old DVD.
Yeah.
I have it ripped, because that's how I roll. And, she watches that over and over again.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And we're back.
Yeah.
Wait,
Forgot. You're listening to the Player One Podcast. And we are going to do some tweets. What do you think about that?
Okay.
Why not?
That's
All right.
fine.
Yeah.
All right, sure. Yeah. All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias, the real D Vance, who says, with DLC becoming more of an automatic thing with most games, what game do you think has had the best DLC?
This gen or last gen?
Any gen. I would say including last gen.
I mean, Burnout Paradise to me had the best DLC. I thought that was terrific.
I'm going to say Rock Band 3. Because the support
God.
on that was
a lot.
real good.
It was a lot. The quantity was definitely there. I really liked Crackdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, new gameplay modes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I really liked The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
DLC The Last of Us.
Fantastic.
Now, when we talk DLC, does this mean like who gave the most value for the least price? Because some games have been terrific at giving a lot of
either really.
Gran Turismo 6.
Yeah, definitely. Gran Turismo is well known for doing a great job supporting post-launch with free or extremely valuable stuff.
Yeah. True. All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Oazifa, who says, what's the amiibo figure you most want Nintendo to make that they never will?
This is going to be interesting because my son is a big Nintendo fan.
Yeah.
But we've never done Skylanders or any of those kinds of things. And haven't done Disney Infinity because he doesn't even know Disney characters. He's much more attuned to characters like Atlas and Peabody than he is of any Disney characters. So I'll be interested to see what this is like, if he becomes aware of them or if he's just still so much into Minecraft it doesn't matter. When do the amiibos hit? Is that before the holiday, or is that still undetermined?
Probably whenever Smash Brothers for Wii U comes out.
Really? You think they're going to wait that long? They're not going to go for Christmas this year or anything?
Well, I think that'll be by Christmas.
I guess, yeah.
There's been no date, I don't think, for Smash Brothers for Wii U yet.
Okay.
So,
what character?
What about Rusty from Rusty's Real Deal Baseball? Come on!
He's the mole from Mole Mania. They'll never ever release that.
Fun. Yeah. That's true. I'd love to see one.
I know you would.
I'm going with Wart.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be great.
So down with that.
Or Tri-Clyde. If we're sticking to the Mario 2.
I liked, was it Mouser? Is that his name?
Yeah, Mouser is friggin'
awesome. Shades.
Yep.
Lobbing
bombs, wearing shades.
Poochie?
Yeah.
What?
Come on, man.
Look at a dog wearing shades. I go right to Poochie.
Fuzzy. Fuzzy. I want an action figure of Fuzzy. Yeah, you touch Fuzzy and get dizzy.
Oh, right.
What in the world are we talking about?
Yoshi's Island.
Yoshi's Island, man. Touch Fuzzy, get dizzy, yo.
I heard of that game.
Even I know that. Rich, did you say an amiibo figure that you wanted?
No, I mean I can't think of any off the top of my head. I don't even know the ones that they've announced. But I mean, my son loves Luigi, so I would imagine the first time he sees a Luigi, we'll snap that up. But probably not the best qualified to answer this question.
Alrighty. You could say Ken Griffey Jr. from Ken Griffey Jr.'s Baseball.
Nice. Well done.
Or wasn't there a who did they have endorsing their basketball game?
Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. We need a Mike Tyson.
Oh right, and Mike Tyson too.
This is Kobe Bryant, wasn't it?
Was it? Was it Kobe Bryant?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
Yeah.
You're a big basketball fan, CJ. Why don't you know this?
Kobe Bryant's Real Deal Basketball.
Exactly.
You had to hackle with Kobe Bryant.
I'm not really a sports kind of guy, so.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Far East of Tengai, who says, do longtime reviewers become too cynical about reused game mechanics when there are new gamers every day that they are new to? Reviews referring to another Muso with Hyrule Warriors and fatigue on Mario Kart / Smash started to make me think about it.
The answer to your question is yes, although the Muso games deserve it.
That's inaccurate, but actually the answer to the first 7 words of that tweet is yes.
Yes, and I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Do longtime reviewers become too cynical?
Period. The answer is,
there's a lot of extra words there. The answer is yes.
If you want to transform someone who loves video games into someone who doesn't, you make them a long-time game reviewer.
I started loving video games again when I stopped reviewing them for a little.
Yeah, it was nice, right?
That's the best thing about being a freelancer is I get 1 or 2 a month at the most, and sometimes months go by. So, it's not my job. But when I've been in that. Like even just recently, when a lot of the sports games come out, they have a tendency to all come out at the same time. And when you're doing NCAA, not anymore, but when you used to do NCAA, then Madden, then NHL, then FIFA, like all in 6 to 8 weeks, it's not fun anymore, and you quickly sort of lose that zest for it. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's not only that you get cynical, and this is not meant as an indictment, toward anybody that does this for a living. It's just, I think it's almost impossible to avoid.
Right.
You can have the best intentions, but the thing is that for me, I found that there's a level of cynicism, but we've talked about this on the show before. There's just this level of completely losing touch with your audience. And again, this isn't anyone's fault. It kind of naturally happens because you have to play everything.
You may absolutely love Krispy Kreme donuts, but go work at a Krispy Kreme for 3 or 4 years and see how hungry you are for them after that.
It's right. True. I mean, and it's like you have to review, especially if you're on staff, if you're in, and this is your major focus, like you have to review them fast, you have to get them out on time, And yes, it's going to start running into each other, and yes, you're going to see like, oh my god, this is the 5th game this month that plays exactly like this.
Yeah.
But your audience isn't going to see it that way. Your audience isn't going to deal with that. 90% of them aren't going to be playing all 5 of those other games in the space of 4 days each.
Yeah.
And it's almost impossible not to get a little bit jaded about it.
Agreed.
Yep. Word up.
Yeah. Hacker alias Knee First says, has Smash 3DS made you more or less interested in the Wii U copy? I'm personally holding out since I want HD more than portability.
It's definitely gonna play better on the Wii U, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to know your guys' opinion on this. I get a little nervous playing that game on my 3DS because I feel like I'm gonna break the thing.
It?
Yeah. I feel like I'm gonna
have that problem.
Really?
No.
I don't have that problem either.
Moving the little analog nub around, I feel like I'm just gonna snap off in my hand.
Don't think I play with the same level of intensity you do.
Well.
I don't feel that way, no.
Maybe I need to calm down.
I don't know. I'm about the same level of interest in the Wii U game,
which was very
before.
interested.
Which was, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I will be doing the same.
Yeah.
It has neither raised or lowered my expectations for the Wii U game.
That's true. Yes.
So, neutral.
There you go.
My answer is neutral.
Hacker alias Jeff E. Solomon. This is one for Mr. Greg Seward. Can I get some advice on putting together an Extra Life stream, pitfalls, and such?
Sign up at extralife.org. Sign up at twitchtv.com or twitchtv.com. Twitch.tv. No,
yeah.
I would probably play a newer game than Pitfall if you're going to get people to watch. And
that's a good.
Well,
call.
he said pitfalls, like multiple.
Well, there was
the whole series. If he does like a whole run of the pitfalls,
Pitfall, then Pitfall 2, and like the Super Pitfall. Yeah.
Sure.
If he's talking about the actual like Extra Life, getting donations and things like that. Like one of the things that I found works really well is to get on a podcast and get about 10,000 listeners that will donate it. No, setting a realistic goal. I know actually that there's this year in the team that I'm on every year, TJ Lauerman's team, the TSG crew. There's a couple new guys, and I actually had one approach me recently because it's their first year, and they started out with a goal of $2,000 raised, which is pretty high. You're going to be in like the top 100 in the world if you raise $2,000. So like, and the thing is that if you do that, even if you set a lower goal, it's really easy, especially if you're like me, to like go a few days where you don't get any donations and actually get kind of down about it, which I find is kind of tough to deal with sometimes. But yeah, like set a more realistic goal, like something closer to like $500 if it's your first year. And if you meet that early and everything, that's great. Then the other thing, the trap that I fell into my first year is I didn't raise my goal after that, because you can raise it right up until the whole thing is over. And the thing is that people are more likely to give if you haven't met your goal yet. So if you set a goal of 500 and you beat it, it's really cool to say, oh, I've collected 120% of the donations I was trying for, but then raise it above what you've got, because there's a better chance that people are going to look and say, oh, I should give more, is my understanding anyway. So as far as that goes, that's kind of what I've looked at doing. And then something that I did this year that seems to have been pretty good. Well, every year I've always tried to do a theme, which again it usually is classic Sega stuff with me, because that's kind of my thing. But this year what I actually ended up doing was selling hours of the day to people for a donation of $25 or more, where they get to go on to a list of games that I own, choose what they wanted me to play and what hour of the 24-hour marathon they wanted me to play it in, and it worked out pretty good. I mean, all the slots are already filled. So that was kind of a nice thing too. As far as setting up stream, Twitch.tv, get yourself, if you're going to be using consoles, you're going to need a capture card. I use an Elgato, which is I think $100, a little over $100. Really easy to use. It's just an HDMI pass-through. And the software is all you need. You don't need all kinds of extra broadcasting software. But the one thing that I will say that you absolutely should do, if you're going to do a 24-hour stream, wear diapers and get someone to cook for you. No, microphone. Get a microphone or use your laptop microphone. But when you're streaming, talk to the people that are watching your stream.
Yeah.
It's 100% more interesting, and I've tried it both ways, and I've had so many complaints from people when I didn't speak, even when I'm using the chat. The other thing is, too, is if you're playing the game, you don't want to have to put the controller down all the time to deal with the chat. But, get it set up your system however you have to, where if you're playing console, even if you're playing PC games or whatever, make it so you can see your chat, make it so it's easy for you to reach and look at, and use a microphone and interact with the people that are watching your stream. That is huge. You will get more viewers that way. And you can parlay that into some last-minute donations, too.
The other thing I'll say, too, is join a already established team.
Yes.
Greg, what you and TJ have done is amazing. The amount of money you've already got pledged this year is staggering. And, just like with anything in life, right? If you have an opportunity to do something yourself, or to join a whole bunch of people that gives you a lot more power to accomplish things, you really want to think about doing that. Because, again, what TJ and Greg and that whole TSG crew are doing is pretty impressive.
And the nice thing about that is, and I won't go on too much about this, but I've actually had a local interview about this, about tips on how to get a little bit more cash flowing. The really nice thing about Extra Life is that it's a local charity in that you get to choose a local hospital if you want, but it's an international event. So you can get money from people outside of your local area. I mean, definitely go after your local area. I mean, even in person, go to like businesses and stuff and see, because it's a great charity, it's a great cause. But like Rich was saying, I've joined with TJ Lauerman in previous years and this year, who, he's a great team captain because he promotes the team a lot. And the nice thing is you're not limited to the hospitals. I mean, he's based in New Jersey. He's raising for a New Jersey-based hospital, yeah. But we can cross-promote each other, which I always try to do in the show. It's like find somebody who's local and give to them if you don't want to give to me. But the nice thing is you've got the entire world at your fingertips, and if you join a team that's more international, then you're getting promotion in all these different areas that might bring more donations to you. So concentrate locally, yes, but don't forget that you've got Twitter and Facebook, and you can get on a team that's international and use that to help you, and use that to help others. And if you haven't donated already, extralife.org.
Waiting for that.
I'm $350 away from my goal this year, which is $2,000. And there's a little less than 3 weeks to go. So every donation, 100% of it goes to the IWK Health Center, and 100% of it is tax deductible. Please give. I got that out of the way now, so I don't have to do it in the outro.
Very nice.
That's pretty excellent. Let's do one more. Let's do one more tweet. Why not, right? Hagarelius A. Scott X says, Alien Isolation releases soon. I think it's actually this week, right?
It is.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite licensed games? Any recent favorites from the last 10 or so years?
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 game that came out on the PS4 is awful, and I love it. It is it is my Too Human of CJ.
Oh, man.
It is spectacularly bad, and I love every second of it. It is. You could be looking at the screen, and you'll see like two things that are in beautiful high def, and then three other things that are like so grainy that you have to wonder how it even came together. The combat can be horrific and in one moment and great in the next. The story makes absolutely no sense. They throw every single character that's ever been in Spider-Man, and I'm not even a big Spider-Man guy, but it's a beautiful mess. I love every single terrible second of it.
Nice.
Licensed games.
What about Arkham Asylum? I mean, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
The Batman games. The War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron, Transformers games. I like both of those quite a bit. Let's see.
Big fan of Robotech Invasion on the Xbox and PlayStation 2.
I wasn't a big fan of that.
No?
Me neither. No.
No?
What was it? There was a Spy versus Spy game that was really awful too. I seem to remember that one.
Ouch.
It's almost as bad as that Robot Unicorn game.
Ouch.
I think the Aladdin on the Genesis was clearly one of the ultimate.
There was the SNES one too. If you're looking at quality games.
In all seriousness, though, also The Walking Dead. The first.
Yeah, Walking Dead.
And the Wolf Among Us was quite good too.
You know what? I'm gonna throw in the Lego games.
Oh yeah, that's a good. Yeah,
I mean, those are like double licensed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Some of them, not all of them are really good.
Not all of them, but
Some of them are great.
Lego Batman 2, fantastic.
Yeah.
Lego Marvel Superheroes is really good. Let's see, what else?
That's probably a good amount.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah.
DuckTales remastered or whatever.
And the Castle of Illusion remastered too.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them.
They don't really make licensed movie games anymore.
That seems to be something that doesn't happen so much now. Yeah.
Like, wouldn't Guardians of the Galaxy seem to be like the perfect movie for a video game?
Like there was no Avengers game, no Guardian of the Galaxy game.
I think part of the problem is that actually making a good current gen or even last gen game based off a movie license just takes so long now.
Yeah.
Well,
the cost is so high.
And
the cost is so high now. It's not like you used to be able to throw it together and get it out the door, right?
Although, you know what? I guess that's kind of reflecting that is, like Rich, you just said there was no Guardian of the Galaxy game. There was an iOS game.
Right.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, actually.
Yeah, and I think the same thing with Avengers, too, right?
I think you're right. Yep.
Yeah.
And Captain America.
And
there
bigger
was a
market.
recent
Were they any good?
America game, too.
Yeah.
Were they any good at all? Anyone know?
I don't know. I have not played that.
I heard the Guardians one was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now that I've finally seen the movie, I could download it.
What's that?
Now that I've finally seen the movie, I could download that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You didn't want any spoilers before now?
Nope, no spoilers.
Wait, he's a tree? Wait, it turns out he is Groot?
Yeah. So you got, Greg, you're getting Aliens, or Alien Isolation, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's an alien game that doesn't want to be aliens.
Yeah. That's right.
No, it sounds
doesn't
really
want to be an Aliens game.
It sounds really cool, and it looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are the reviews bad, or did I miss something? Or just the actual review bad?
Polygon review was... Yeah, I think it was just a bad review. I haven't really paid... I mean, I see some mentions in Twitter feeds, and I've seen more outlets praising it than...
Yeah.
Oh, good.
There's been an overall positive response.
Yeah.
So if the embargo, the review embargo is up before the game comes out, that's usually is a pretty good sign.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah. So...
At least it means that the publisher is not afraid of the reviews.
Although I have to say I'm a little bit. The story seems a little ham-fisted just based on the description that you're playing as Amanda Ripley.
Yes.
Which is like, yeah, okay.
Who's Amanda Ripley?
Ellen's daughter.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Which, if you watch the extended edition of Aliens, you get to see her picture as an old lady at one point.
Oh yeah, that's
Remember?
right.
She finds out her daughter's dead. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're playing as her.
Okay.
In a surprisingly similar situation to her mother. So it's like, okay.
Those Ripleys always getting into trouble with them xenomorphs.
Yeah, exactly, you know. So, but I'll let that slide for now.
Okay.
And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Somehow she befriends another one of the bishop androids as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, Yeah,
and runs into
a spunky young girl.
Spunky young girl named Snail.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Snail? Snail?
I don't know.
Could have at least stuck with like a lizard.
Lizard.
It's actually Newt's brother from the Aliens as well. It's
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well.
Yep. Oh man.
All right, is that a show? I think that's a show. That's a show, right?
It resembles a show. It's strong.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to do a quick plug real quick. Since CJ already got to plug his stuff and Greg got to plug his.
All right.
You may recall, I think I mentioned before, that my wife wrote an interactive novel game.
Yes,
Did I mention this?
You've mentioned it.
I've mentioned this, yes. It should be coming out sometime this month, and trust me, I will be promoting the hell out of it when it does. You won't get me to shut up about my wife's awesome game that she made. But and I don't know if I've even told you guys this off the air, but my wife Dana, who has been a guest on our show, just got a new job a week ago.
I saw her tweet about that. Congratulations.
Yes.
She is now a professional video game writer. She works at a company that makes iOS games called Pocket Gems.
And by video game writer, you mean the good kind, who actually writes not about video games.
Yes, she does. She actually creates content that goes in games as opposed to just reviewing games or such shit. Yes. But yeah, she is working on one of their games. It's a free-to-play game called Tap Paradise Cove. It's a kind of lighthearted, piratey sort of thing, and she is going to be writing quests for it and things like that. So
is that a puzzle platformer with a unique art style?
Because we will tear the hell out of that game when it comes out. That's what it is.
It does represent some form of childhood trauma, though.
Well, I'm in.
No, it's a lighthearted piratey thing. Right. You know? Yeah.
Pirates never do anything mean.
Batten down your hatches. It's true. So
awesome.
so she is super excited because she's writing video games for a living now, which is
great.
Pretty damn cool. So
Indeed.
So everyone should go play Tap Paradise Cove.
Yes.
It's free. It's free to play.
Cheap.
So why wouldn't you? But of course, buy a bunch of in-app purchases though. It'll help out my wife.
Yes.
Which in turn helps out me.
Yeah. There you go.
Which in turn helps me. So remember, the more in-app purchases you buy, the more Lego sets I can get.
Fatter.
Excellent.
Yeah. But there we go.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something that you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you will find episodes like this one, archives of our video shows too, just in case you want to watch some of that action. What else we got? We got some blog entries occasionally. We got Generation 16 episodes, which are awesome. And we have a message board where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners, or get information on like the Destiny clan or the Forza Horizon 2 stuff that everyone's doing. I'm sure Drive Club will have something on there too.
Yeah.
So all that stuff on the website.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna plug. Me and Greg have done some other podcast appearances.
Oh,
lately.
I did too.
What did you do, CJ?
I was on NWR Connectivity.
CJ's new best friends are the NWR guys. He's only plumbing it now.
That's right. I was on with Mr. Alex Kulafi and Addison Webb, both who listen to this show, by the way, and they are both awesome. folks. They were kind enough to invite me on to Connectivity for a listener mail segment, and I had a lot of fun. So listen to that
No
show.
listener female segment?
Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum. Womp. I got it. I got it.
Which shows were you guys on?
Well, separately.
Oh, I think you plugged this last week, didn't you, Greg?
Well, I plugged it last week.
Did you plug? Did you plug the
I plugged it.
Pox Fort?
Plugged it.
Yeah, the box sport.
Yes. Yeah, I actually earlier today recorded an episode of The Box Fort over there at theboxfort.net.
Some nice guys.
Yeah. Although it was a two-man show today. It was just myself and George.
Really?
Yes, talking about Dynasty Warriors.
Aha!
It started out so strong too.
So Greg, you might. Although you know what, because it's me guesting on a show, there's like tangents aplenty. So even if you are a fool who doesn't like Dynasty Warriors, you may enjoy us talking about like in television and random crap. So yep. So it was good stuff. It was a lot of fun. So there you go. Go listen to it. Go download it after I'm done talking. So give yourself an hour or two, and we'll see what we can. If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're at the iTunes Music Store, you can also invest $1.99
cheap
to pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application. Gives you one-touch communication with us via the voicemails, the emails, the Twitters, what have you, except for the voicemails. It doesn't have that.
Nope.
They have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone, telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening devices as well for that same $1.99.
Also quite cheap.
It is. You can find that over there at Amazon's Android App Store. We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can bounce on over to Facebook and give us a like.
Sure.
You can. Hey, here's a new one that I'm throwing in there. We have a Steam group.
Nice.
Are you on Steam? You should be on Steam.
Yeah.
How are you not on Steam yet?
There's a lot of cheap games on Steam.
Is that even possible?
Come on, get with the times, bro. Look us up. I think yeah, we have a Steam group. I forget the actual one. It's like player. Just look Player One Podcast up. You'll find it.
You'll find it.
There you go.
You'll find it. But yeah, come join the Player One Steam group, because why not? And you can watch our show being broadcast live most weeks on the YouTubes. Just head over to youtube.com/P1podcast to check it out. We have some of our older episodes archived as well. And just follow our Twitter account to find out when we will be broadcasting our next live show. CJ?
Yeah?
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Greg?
Yo.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil.
And, of course, super special, ultra hyper turbo edition EX Plus Alpha thanks to our extra special guest. Crap, what's this guy's name?
Rich Grisham.
Rich Grisham. Rich Grisham. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for him.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. There we go.
It is always, and no joking, it is always a thrill to be on with you guys. I have been a huge fan of the show for many years, and I listen every single week, and I love it. So it's always a big thrill to be on. So thanks for having me on. It's been great.
I need somebody with better judgment to come on this show.
Suck up a little more, Rich.
Trust me, I will.
You think?
I will.
You think that's going to curry you any favors?
I'll see you on the roads of wherever we are in Europe.
Yeah.
Somewhere near
Italy and France.
Italy, France.
Is it the
They're in Europe, right?
Sea? Are you
That's so stupid.
Rock of Gibraltar, perhaps?
As long as you don't call it nice. Then
I was just about to say. Well, they named one of their cities nice, so it's got to be a decent place.
Well, when you're in Italy, be sure to kiss the Blarney Stone for me. Sort of.
Okay.
Is that
Next
it?
week?
Bye,
Next week?
Next week.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, sure.
Bye-bye.
Hey, no one stop recording though because we have to do a clap.
You've got what?
Boy, I should have started.